Chances are, if you're watching this video, you're probably wondering how to get this. And this right here is a golden visa. My name is Max Maxwell. I'm a real estate investor and an entrepreneur. And before I dive in to talk about how to get the golden beauty, let's talk about how to set up your business in Dubai. Yeah, you heard me right. I'm talking about Dubai. You see, me and my wife recently moved to Dubai, and it's been a journey of a lifetime. Some of you from my last video asked questions in the comment section. Why Dubai? Well, long story short, we saw an opportunity here. We saw a chance to grow and expand our businesses in places that's booming with potential. I mean, it's got a lot of potential over here to me personally. But I'll be honest with you, coming over here and starting a business from scratch can be frustrating. It's because I've done this a dozen times in America, and I understand the process, and I can probably do it with my eyes closed. Many people who are planning to come to Dubai or who already live in Dubai and may also feel the stress and the frustration that I felt with creating a business. So with my personal experience and setting up a business here, I wanted to give you the step-by-step guide you can follow to create your own business if you're planning to come to Dubai or if you're already in Dubai. And the reality is, it's really not frustrating or hard at all. You really just need to know the steps. All right, so let's talk about my personal experience, me and my wife's personal experience coming to Dubai. We made up our mind that we wanted to move to Dubai. Initially, we wanted to come here for like 2 or 3 months to try to get everything set up. And obviously, when you come to a new country and you visit, there's a difference between visiting and vacation and then actually living here. And we knew that. We travel across the world, and we know that there's a big difference between being a tourist and actually living here. So we wanted to come and experience from the side of actually living here. But while we were here, we had it in mind that we wanted to set up our businesses. And me being a little naive about the process over here, I just wanted to come over here and set it up myself. After doing some research and figuring out some things you need, I opted not to do that. So let me tell you, as an American, you come here, you get a visa on arrival. I think it lasts like 30 or 60 days. I can't honestly remember how long it lasts, but that's how long you get to be in the country without having to do anything else. So during this time period, we wanted to set up our business. Now, one of our first businesses that we wanted to set up with is a manufacturing company business that we currently have somewhere else. We wanted to set this business up here in the UAE so that we can continue to make our products and sell them all over the world. Now, see, in North Carolina, the process is fairly simple because I've just done this so many times. But here, there's a lot of things and a lot of words that are just different that don't really match up with my knowledge. It's not that they're wrong, I just didn't know how to do them, and out of that, I gained a little frustration. So what I did is I opted to use a company for the first business to set up everything for me. Now, keep in mind, depending on what type of business you want to set up, it's going to vary from probably $4,000 American dollars to probably $15,000 American dollars. I know that's a big range, but it really matters what type of trade license and what type of activities your business is going to do. Now, the second option, which I've done for the other companies, well, I've done it for 2 out of 3, was actually setting it up myself, going through the process, because my knucklehead self wanted to see what the process was manually, so I went to go do that myself, and I can say it was actually a pretty pleasant, surprising thing to do. But with the knowledge that I had from hiring somebody the first time, I was able to use that to kind of make the process a little simpler. So when you come over here, you're going to be on a tourist visa, or you can do all of this before you even get here and it be a little cheaper. The reason is when you're here on a tourist visa, you eventually have to change your status, and changing your status is cost a little bit of money. So you can save that money by doing all of this stuff by hiring a company before you even get here. Now, let's talk about the process of actually starting your business. I broke it down into 10 steps, and we decided to create a business in the mainland. So there's mainland companies and there's free zone companies. And I'm going to kind of tell you the difference between those, but a mainland company essentially is just like every other company around, and they get to do business with the people of the mainland, right? That makes sense? So that means you're a full-fledged company, you're not in a free zone, and I'll explain what free zone is here very shortly, so stick around, you understand, and that's where most people actually set their business up, isn't a free zone, and you'll understand why. So let's go through the 10 steps on how to actually start your business in Dubai. Number 1, you want to identify the nature of your business activity. See, the UAE, United Arab Emirates, offers 6 main types of licenses, right? So you have like occupational, tourism, industrial, which is the one we choose, commercial, agricultural, and then professional, which is your lawyers and stuff like that. Number 2, you need to determine your company's legal structure. Now, if you set up a business anywhere, you know what this is. It's a business structure is like primarily based on, the needs of your business and will determine the laws and the regulations that your company must follow here in Dubai. Now, number 3 is you need to register your trade name. Now, this was fun because you've got to pick a cool name that's for your business, but you also got to remember it's got to be like one of a kind. It's got to be a unique name that's not being used by any of the companies. And with Dubai being so business friendly, there's so many companies here. So you got to pick the perfect name, and you can do this either by going on the website or on an app. Now, let's talk about apps for a second. One thing I'm very impressed with, every government body over here has an app, and you can pretty much do all of these services once you actually live here right on your phone in the app. Now, once you've already done steps 1, 2, and 3, you need to apply for the initial approval. That's step 4. Now, it's time to get the thumbs up from the government, right? So what I mean by this is called the initial approval. It's kind of like when your parents said, it's okay to start planning a party, but it doesn't mean you can actually start playing the music just yet. This initial approval is like the government saying, look, we have no issue with your business idea, and you can go ahead to the next steps to set up your business. It doesn't mean you can open your doors and just start selling right away. That comes a little bit later. Now let's move on to step 5. So number 5 is creating a LSA or MOA. MOA means a memorandum of agreement. Now, depending on what type of company you're setting up, you're going to need a couple of documents. And if you're starting a civil company, an LLC, or any type of shareholder company, you're going to need this thing called a memorandum of association. Think of this as your company's rule book. But if you're a solo and you're going to start a solo entrepreneurship journey, then you need to have a local service agreement. It's like having a local buddy who will help you with the nitty-gritty, right? And so that's pretty simple. That's just like a 1-page, 2-page document. Actually, no, it's pretty long, but it's all done for you at the government office. So the next, you need to choose your business and the location. Now, this is a little tricky and different than America. In America, you can start a business in your garage, or you can start a business like you don't even actually need an office. But every business in the UAE actually needs a place it calls home. It needs like a physical spot. And I'll tell you the exception to this rule a little bit later, but you need an actual spot where you can run your operations. But you can't just pick like any old place. Your chosen spot has to check certain box that the Department of Economic Development says they're okay with. And since you're setting up your business in Dubai, you're also going to need to register your office or your warehouse through something called an Ajari portal. Now, this is pretty cool. Every single rental contract, whether it's home lease or commercial lease, is put into a system called an Ajari. It has the price that it's been there for the year, it has who's renting it, and so on and so forth, but every single contract is in the Ajari. This is like telling, the Dubai Land Department, like, hey, look, this is my new location for our business. It's official. So once you've done number 6, you're going to move on to number 7. You're going to apply for any additional government approvals. You're almost at the end. Just when you thought you're done, there's just a little bit more. And for some type of businesses, you need to go like the extra mile. So for example, if you do like healthcare or you're a law firm, things like that. And for us, we did industrial, light manufacturing, and we had to get a health impact score or something like that. I don't know exact wording, but we had to get an additional approval just to make sure we weren't producing so much waste. Now, once you've done step 7, you're going to take all the documents you've had, 1 through 7 actually, and then you're going to submit these documents. This is step number 8. You're going to submit the required documents, the receipt of all the initial approvals, the copies and the previous submitted documents, and your Ajari, which your lease, and you need to actually submit this to the government office. Once you've done that, they're going to hand you an invoice. You're going to go over to the counter, or you're going to do this online, you're going to pay somebody else to do this, and you're going to pay your fees. And once you pay your fees, this is when you actually get to collect your business license. And once you have your business license, step number 10, you're going to register your company with the local chamber of commerce in that actual Emirates that you're living in that industry. Now, I know all of this sounds crazy. It's actually not that crazy. This is why it seems kind of overwhelming. You usually just pick a company. And so I used the company to set up my business, in the first one I actually did. And I'm going to put that company below right in the description so you can actually hit them up and they can give you a quote to see what it's going to cost and where you should set your business up. But you should do that. Now that I actually live here and I have this little golden thing or any Emirates ID that you actually have, you will actually be able to set up a business in like 15 minutes. Now, I wouldn't recommend anybody just doing that because you want to make sure that you're picking the right industries, the right activities you're in. But once you're here, it becomes so simple. It's 15 minutes on an app and you have a business set up. So let's talk about free zones for a second. You've heard me mention this word quite a bit in this video, but I haven't explained exactly what they are. So let's talk about it. A free zone in Dubai is like a special club for businesses. It's like a special part of town where the rules are just a little bit different, and it's in ways that's actually favorable for business, and businesses really like this. It's a genius idea, and if you start a business in one of these zones, there's over 40 of them, you get some pretty cool perks. For instance, like you don't have to pay certain taxes, which means you just get to keep more of your money. You can also own your business 100% no matter what country you're from. I mean, you get to own it all by yourself. You own 100% of it. And there's even more. Like you don't have to pay extra fees when you bring or send out goods. Those are usually called like import and export duties. You can easily send your profits back to your home country if you want. And plus, there's no fuss about like the type of currency you have to work in because they handle all types of currency in these zones. So basically, in a nutshell, a free zone in Dubai is like a super friendly place for a business, especially those who want to run them from another country. Just think of it like a VIP lounge for companies. So in reality, you have two options. You can start your business in the mainland or the free zone. Both of them have the perks. It kind of just depends what you want to do. A lot of people set up their company in the free zones, commerce, they have Bitcoin, specialties, or whatever it is. There's 40 different of these zones, and each one of these zones specializes in a certain type of industry. Like I said, commerce, aviation, whatever it is. And it's kind of a genius idea. It allows people to come and take advantage of the infrastructure, the tax laws, and everything, and not physically have to be here. But you can also be here and run your company and not really have to deal with the mainland side. Meaning that if you have an e-commerce business and you mainly sell your products to Canada, America, Europe, and you're not going to do business here in the mainland, then why have to worry about spending more money setting up your business in the mainland? You can stay in the free zone and do all that stuff. So now that you understand how to actually set up your business here in Dubai, and it's probably better to use a company to set up your initial business, you're gonna have to probably have somewhere around $5,000 to $12,000 to start that business. I want to get back to the people who watched the last video and left some comments and questions, and I want to answer them. I actually did something on my Instagram as well where I said, look, if you have any questions about starting a business or moving to Dubai. All right, so there's a lot of questions about my move to Dubai. So if you have any questions particularly about what it's like moving to Dubai, I want to answer them in YouTube videos. So just right here, just ask your questions and I'll take some time and I'll make sure they get answered in the YouTube video. Ask them here and I'll answer them on a YouTube video. And so let's do that now. So if you're ready to start your business in Dubai, I would get with the company that's below. And I would say if you can do everything in probably about 3 to 4 weeks. Now the actual process is pretty fast. The actual process probably takes all of like 4 or 5 days. So I'm not sure why it takes these companies so long other than there's a lot of people setting up these businesses. But at the end, when you get here is when when you arrive, you're gonna get that special stamp in your actual passport, and then you'll be ushered off to your health examination, and then you'll get your actual Emirates ID, which is good for as long as your business. And so typically your business, you gotta renew every year, but you get somewhere between 2 and 3 year visa to be here, whether you set up in the free zone or the mainland. But I would say how quick you can do it, it's much quicker if you're here in person. It's gonna cost a little more, but if you're away and you wanna set it up before you get here, it's probably gonna take you about 3 to 4 weeks. I've already talked about why Dubai, but specifically some of the reasons why I picked this area and what advantages that I have is its region to everywhere else. And another one is it is business friendly, whether it's taxes, whether it's ports, whether it's the people, whether it's the infrastructure. It's a growing economy and it's going to be next on the big top places to be. And I like to get there before everybody else does. But there's so many perks, I can't list them all. So the UAE and the Middle East are developing countries, and even though they're pretty advanced, I don't believe at all it's reached its peak. There's so much undeveloped land. And then here's the thing, the reason why I know it hasn't reached its peak. The ruler of Dubai has a vision, and that vision is spelled out online. You can go search it, but it goes way beyond where they actually are right now. So it is a hot spot, I would say, for a lot of people from all over the world. You know, believe it or not, it's actually not that much of a hot spot for people in America. It's just because they have a preconceived idea of what this area is, which is not that at all. I'm telling you from experience. I would say that absolutely not. It's not reached its peak, and that's why I'm here, is to move on to something that is growing and has legs to be growing much longer. I honestly wish I was getting paid by the government moving Dubai, but if you guys have followed me over the last 7 years, you know I document my journey. I talk about the good and the bad of anything, whether you follow me in real estate, whether you follow me in any other business I was doing. So I talk about my life and the experiences that I'm having. Everything that I give you is just my opinion and how I'm doing it. But not only am I talking about it, you get to see me actually doing it. Now, you got to remember, I live a pretty comfortable life in America. I have a nice ranch on 20 acres. And so for you to see me get up and go and do something different and move my businesses over here, you know that I see something that most people probably don't see, or see people have seen for a long time. I have good friends here now that have successful businesses, have been here already for 13 years. So, I'm not getting paid by the government, but if they do want to pay me, I'm open to this is actually a cool place. Anything I ever say on this channel is because I truly believe it, even if I ain't getting paid. So the visa that I have and the visa that my wife has is the golden visa, meaning that I can be here for 10 years. And there's a lot of perks with actually having a golden visa. I know that's what everybody's been waiting for. How do you get this golden visa? Well, first of all, you don't need the golden visa to come over here. And actually, the first visa I got within the first month of me being here was just a partner's visa. When you start a company, that's what you would get, is a partner's visa. I was able to sponsor myself as a partner in the company to be here. Now, with a golden visa, you don't need to create any company. It's just automatically you sponsor yourself. You're just here, and there's a lot of perks, and that visa lasts 10 years, meaning that typically in a partner's visa, the visa expires after 2 years, and it just means you have to go do another medical test and just things you have to do, paperwork you have to do. With the golden visa, it lasts 10 years. Now, let's talk about how you can qualify and what you have to do to possibly get a golden visa. Now, keep in mind, there's many ways to actually get a visa. And what you got to understand is why a country like the UAE would actually give out a golden visa. You got to remember, UAE has a plan and a vision to be one of the best places in the world. And in order to do that, they have to attract the best and the brightest people from all over the world. And what they do when they recognize that the brightest and the best, whether you're a doctor or a lawyer or an entrepreneur, whatever it is, they will give you the golden visa if they see fit and that you can help develop and help move their country forward in the direction that they actually have. It's a smart thing for them to do. But let's talk about how you can actually qualify to get a golden visa. And this is just some of the ways, and you can look this up yourself to see some of the more ways. And there's actually a test you can do on one of the government sites to see if you would actually qualify for the golden visa. One of the ways you can qualify is as a real estate investor or property owner, right? So if you own a property or properties worth not less than 2 million dirhams, right? Which the conversion is $1 American is 3.68 dirhams right now. But basically, if you own property free and clear, no mortgage on them, worth 2 million dirhams, and if this property is, you own it, then you get a golden visa. And I believe this golden visa may be for 5 years and not 10, but it's still a golden visa. Another one is outstanding specialized talents. I talked about this. So this includes fields such as doctors, scientists, artists, inventors, executives, even athletes. I know that you've seen popular, like there's the boxer, I forget his name, he's the heavyweight champion right now. He even came over here. He got the golden visa. His entire family got the golden visa. But each category has a specific requirement, such as, and it's got to have obviously approval from the government that you can get this actual golden visa. Now let's talk about some of the perks. Now I told you some of the people that qualify for it and how you can potentially see if you qualify. But here's some of the perks of getting a golden visa in Dubai. And let's talk about this. So one, if we talk about it, it's a long-term residency, right? So the golden visa is typically 5 or 10 years. I have a 10-year golden visa. And what that does for me as an investor, it provides me stability that I know that I can be here and will be here for 10 years and or beyond, right? And so that allows me to invest and start a family, put roots into the UAE and Dubai, and that's it, long-term residency. And this process is actually fairly simple to come here, even on a partner's visa, and just come here and put your roots. Another thing is no need for a sponsor. So unlike many other type of visas, you don't need a sponsor, right? This gives me more autonomy and flexibility in our activities, right? That means I didn't need to start a company to come here. I didn't need a sponsor such as an employer to bring me here or anything like that. And so I believe that is a big perk of actually getting the golden visa. Another crazy and awesome feature of the golden visa is the extended stays outside of the UAE. So if you're a golden visa holder, you have the ability to stay outside of the country for more than usually 6 months while still keeping your valid residency, right? This is useful for like individuals who like to travel frequently or stay outside of the country for extended period of time. For me personally, this is not like a crazy perk because I am not going to be staying out of the country for a long time. But if you get a partner's visa, you come here and you start a company, you get a partner's visa, it's a 2-year visa, you can't be gone for more than 6 months at a time. Because if you are, then they consider you, hey, look, when I'm coming back, you actual residents here, they no longer need this, so they will cancel your visa. So that's one of the perks. I get to do extended trips outside of the UAE, which I don't plan to be gone for more than 6 months because this is my home now. Now, another perk that I really love about this one is your family sponsorship. See, the Golden Visa gives the holders the ability to sponsor their family members, right? So this is like your spouse and your children, and I mean, children of any age actually, which makes it easier to bring your whole family over to the UAE. Now, think about that. That's just another perk that they were thinking about when they created this Golden Visa, that if I get the Golden Visa, then I can bring my wife over, and if I had any kids and stuff like that, the whole family could come over. Now, fortunately, my wife was able to get her own Golden Visa, even though it doesn't matter. I could have sponsored her, she could have sponsored me, we both would have had it, but she's a hardworking person and she got her own Golden Visa. Another perk is you can hire and bring over, and you have the ability to sponsor any domestic helpers, and basically an unlimited amount of domestic helpers for the family, right? So I know if you live in America, it's only common to have a helper such as a nanny or a full-time cook or anybody that can help you, right? A driver, right? Which I plan to get a driver because it's just so much easier. You're able to sponsor domestic helpers to come over here and help you, right? And these are typically people that come from developing countries that are developing, that are very in the early infancy stage of developing. Somewhere where their monthly salary in their country would be somewhere around $200 to $300. You're able to sponsor that domestic help over there, pay them a decent wage. Most of the time, you take care of their housing so that all the money that they earn here gets to go in their pocket or back to their home country, and they usually earn more money than they were if they were in their home country. So that's definitely a perk. You can sponsor a limited amount of domestic helpers. Another thing is you can have basically security for your family, right? If the primary holder of the Golden Visa, like let's just say God forbids, passes away, their family members are allowed to stay in the UAE until the permanent derogation. So basically, if someone just got here, year one, unfortunately they pass away for whatever reason, their family gets to still stay here for another 9 years that's left on this visa, right? And so that's definitely one of the perks. So there you go. Those are the perks and how you qualify or could qualify to get the Golden Visa. Now keep in mind, this Golden Visa is not necessary, and matter of fact, not a lot of people actually have it. And so the reason why I talked about it, because it's something that you can strive for. And believe it or not, most people in Western countries can come over here and start a business and easily buy a home worth 2 million dirhams and get a Golden Visa and feel secure, get a 5-year visa. But it's not necessary to actually have it to come here. It's just one of the perks that they offer people that can help move this country forward in the vision that they actually have. Now, I hope this video is helpful to you, and you kind of get to see the inside of my wife and I's journey, right, in the process of setting up a business in Dubai. So far, it's been incredibly adventurous, and we're excited about what the future holds. I mean, there's a lot that I've learned in a very short amount of time, and I think this is important as just an entrepreneur or a human, is to sometimes go outside your comfort zone. In order for you to grow as a person, you have to get out of the comfort zone. And I'll be the first to admit, I was very comfortable in America. You know, at times I really didn't have to leave my house or my compound for a few days just because everything that I did, I built and set up that way. And we know that comfort is a cousin of failure, I would say. It just allows you to be complacent and not grow. And so being that I wanted to grow and I wanted to be more and I wanted to get more, my wife wanted to do more, I felt like it was great for us to get out here and be a part of something that we have no idea how to do and step outside of our comfort zone of being where we were from, right? I hope these videos help. This red couch, me being here, I hope this type of vulnerable videos and me sharing some information with you, because it doesn't have to be about coming to the UAE. It could be you going to Colombia, it could be all over the world. Just know that my experience personally is something that you probably will try to experience, or you will experience if you're looking at going anywhere. But so far, to me, the UAE has been amazing. Dubai has been great. I can't wait to continue to share this journey with you. I feel like this is like my first YouTube videos, like where I was documenting the startup, when I first got my first deal, and so on and so forth. I feel like that's where I am here now, 7 years later, and I'm excited, and I hope you guys are excited as much with me. So you'll see me on this couch, maybe this couch, I may get a new one, because this is not that comfortable. You may see me on this couch and talking more and more, and maybe an episode I bring on my wife and she talks about her experiences. But so far, I hope if you've learned anything from this video, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. We're really trying to grow subscribers by the end of the year, somewhere around 500,000. My first 100,000 was the hardest, but if you can help me get to to do a $500,000, that'd be amazing. And like this video and share with anybody that has any questions or thoughts about maybe moving to Dubai and starting a business. And maybe I'll see you here in Dubai. If you are, hit me up. I'll be glad to go out and maybe we'll do a pop, we'll all meet up and have some fun. But in the meantime, subscribe, hit this like button, and I appreciate you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to comment below as well if you have any questions, and I'll try to answer them in the next video. And until the next video, I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you.